Because our problem solving isn't going to be taken care of by tax money. It doesn't take any creativity to go, well, we just need to tax you more. You know, I'm tired of that, and honestly, we can't afford it anymore.
Yeah.
It's got to take that creativity that government doesn't operate in very often. I know when California, Governor Jerry Brown thought they were down $9 billion, only to find out they're down about $16 billion. But he took time to think about how he was going to address it. And finally at a press conference, he goes, I've thought about it. I know how we're going to get the job done. We're going to raise the sales tax. That doesn't take any creativity. And it's difficult. How much burden can your people carry? So we're at a place, kind of a breaking point or a tipping point to where people have given all that they can give and still live. I know that with us in small business, it's stifling. All the regulations, all the insurance, the liabilities, all the things that we have to run a small business.
And what is your small business for people who don't know?
We're in the construction development business, and my wife and I have been in that particular business of our own for 24 years. I grew up in the restaurant and construction business, but it is just continued. The charges and even the permitting, you know, has got to the point where, like a single-family house here locally, costs you just in paperwork and permits over $16,000 generally. And they're looking to go higher.
Really?
Yeah.
Just in
Shocking.
permits?
Just in permits, fees, system development charges, the permit package. If you want to walk out with a permit that says I'm allowed to build a building on my land, you have a huge amount of fees because they're always tapping into that.
Now, what size of house would that be?
That would be any size of house.
So whether it's $100,000
See, if that
home
house,
or a
here's the problem is if that house is, if that house is 1,400 square foot starter home for somebody, the sewer hookup is still the same. I think it's around $2,400. The park fee is still the same. I think that's around $2,400, $2,500. And so if somebody else is building a big house, huge house, the costs are still the same. And they really up the square footage price on the small home, and they're not that much fun on the big homes.
Now, is this all the county, or are these other fees from other areas?
No, I'm talking mainly city, because city is sewer, water, you know.
So this is the city of McMinnville?
Yeah, the county doesn't have near the system development charges. They don't nearly have the fees that the city has. And the cities are continuing.
I don't remember.
Excuse me a second.
Yeah, I don't remember spending that much money when we put
if you're
our
in the county,
little home in.
you're in a whole different arena, because you're going to supply your sewer, you're going to put your own septic system in, and your own water. There's not a municipal water system, and you're not having the parks fees, and there's a lot of those things that don't cross over. But in the cities, it's gotten so bad because nothing has to be voted on. Only the city council has to pass a fee.
Yeah.
And so they put these fees on. Well, here's the sad thing. I was talking to a gentleman named Dick Rice, who's been in this community for a long time, and they've had the auction yard and Rice Furniture. And we're talking about, they got a piece of land out there by Lowe's, beautiful, lots of traffic, high visibility, and he was trying to market it. And he's a smart guy. And he called in Elmer's Pancake, Elmer's Pancake House, a great restaurant, great food, and they kind of wanted to locate in this area. And they were looking around and said, well, this is a great piece of property, high visibility, great traffic count. But here's the problem, Mr. Rice. In our company handbook, Elmer's no longer builds brand new buildings because the startup costs are too great. Now that makes me a little bit sick. We've shot ourselves in the foot. We're not going to have those people come invest in our community because we've gotten too greedy in that arena.
Well, what makes
they buy one that's already been built and then retrofit it. And because they said, you know, we got $150,000 spent before we get started on the project. And how many pancakes does it take to pay back $150,000? A lot.
Yeah, or even the $16,000 startup cost. The part that makes me sick are these greedy people who just think that they can raise the cost of things, and because, again, the media, whether it's the newspaper, whether it's most TV outlets, they're, for some reason, they support all of this. Apparently, they don't have to go build their own house and start their own business.
Right.
But is this greed, or do they actually use the $16,000 for something reasonable?
Well, they use it for different things. You have the parks, you have this, but instead of spreading it out throughout the community, the load bearing comes on the permits for, a lot of it does. And it's just gotten to the point where it's a huge burden. But anytime that we've fought it, even as builders, I've been down, before I was on the city council, I was down and fighting this thing. The question would be, their answer would be, well, just pass it on. Well, there was a time maybe that was possible, but now what do? We have this load, it's not going down. As the economy shrinks and it's less building going on, those things do not reduce. See, that's the thing. They go up when things are going up and they don't come down when things are coming down. There's not a parallel path there, so it makes it very difficult. So now it's like, well, just pass it on to who? Who will we be passing that on to?
Nobody.
Here's the other thing that I don't hear talked about near enough is in the Obamacare plan. There's 20-some hidden taxes in there, and one of the taxes that's in there is as of January 1, if you sell your property, your house or whatever, you're going to be paying a 3.8% tax to the federal government on the gross of that project. Well, you already have to pay a realtor fee, and let's say that's 5 to 7%. And this is why I can't understand why they are landing on this, because this affects the middle class. The middle class is your biggest investment in your life. And you've already lost maybe 20, 30% of the value of the thing. And now you're going to lay on the middle class a 3.8% tax on the gross sale. Not on the net profit, if there is any left, but on the gross sale of the thing. How is that helping the middle class? And I've been hearing all this, we want to help the middle class. We don't want to burden the middle class. 3.8%?
Obama's only saying that to get elected. He doesn't.
I know, but what I'm saying is it's absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
To throw that on to fund something that nobody wants anyhow.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of things that are counterproductive that the government's done and continue to do, and I don't know what they're waiting for, like our breaking point, or because we're kind of there.
Yeah.
We can't.
Isn't the people on top in charge a lot of times when they have that mindset anyway? They feel like if they give freebies, one thing is the people that they give a freebie to, they get to see a big smile on the other end, but plus it'll increase their power.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
so there's really the breaking point is going to come when there's a complete meltdown and disaster and a collapse in the economy.
Yeah, because mathematically this stuff doesn't work.
It doesn't work mathematically.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, it comes back and bites you.
Yeah, it doesn't work, and and just smiling and going off the fiscal cliff isn't a good idea.
Yeah.